Scuba diving is my world, just me and the water around me. Diving in the ocean allowed me to experience things that were unique to the ocean. Large sharks, dolphins, the colorful fish, and some things that even sometimes made me question what I was looking at down there. You always had to be at the top of your game at all times, no matter what. Knowing that I myself could even easily become prey. It could be stressful at times. Things can go wrong, and when they do go wrong, it goes wrong quickly. I never go down there without a knife and spear gun. I just loved the experience. The things I saw once I geared up just gave me such an endorphin rush. A world much different than our own. One where every time I journeyed into the world, I could see something that nobody else has ever seen. I was starting to get a little bored with my regular job, helping people recover things for an offshore salvage company. The money was okay, as long as we got in a good haul. It was cool to see how the ocean and the sea wildlife would claim the submerged vessel as its own in due time. I was a usual at the local bar called The Dive. Being my usual self, I wasn't shy about what I did for a living, and that I was getting a little bored. One evening, a stranger walked in, and everyone's attention seemed to gravitate towards him. I don't think I've ever seen him in these parts before. He started asking around, seeing if anyone was a diver. Soon, people started pointing in my direction. While he approached me, he had a eerie smile that creeped across his mouth. He spoke, saying, "So you're a diver, eh? Well, luck is on your side. It just so happens I'm in the need of one more diver for an expedition into deeper waters." He said, "I know the limitations of divers, and deeper waters is usually not where you guys venture. But we're in luck. This here sunken ship is on a sandbar, isolating it from the depths around it. The sunken ship's name is the Queen Victorian. You ever heard of it?" I thought to myself, everyone knows the legend of the Queen Victorian. He's pulling my leg. He was still talking, saying, "I can see that you've got a hunger about you, a thirst, one you can't quench. The lust you had to do more, the craving for more adventure. The name's Captain Henry Morgan. I'm the captain of a fair boat called Decius." I told him, "This is too good to be true. How do you know the depth is good for us scuba divers, and that it's the Queen Victorian? Everyone knows that's just a myth. Please don't waste my time." He said, "I wouldn't waste my own time. I already sent a crew down there to check it out. I didn't have the equipment to retrieve all of the wealth." Thinking to myself, man, I want this gig, and badly. Middle of the ocean, surrounded by deep waters, and the money. I said to him, "Captain, you've got your man." Good, he said. "I'll see you Friday morning, bright and early. We're at the southern port, Dock 11. Just bring your gear. We have everything else that you'll need." Friday morning came, and I found myself surrounded by a decent crew and 3 other scuba divers. The captain said, "There he is. This here is Paul. He's your diving partner, and the other crew is Lewis and Butch." The 3 men seemed to be well seasoned. Paul came up to me and greeting me with a firm handshake, saying, "So the old bastard talked you into this too, huh? Hopefully it doesn't turn out like..." The captain started shouting, "Get aboard, ladies. We're getting ready to take off." I grabbed my gear quickly and started walking towards the ship. Once we started leaving the port, I approached Paul, who seemed to be lost in deep thought. Maybe he was reminiscing about the previous crew. "Paul, you never finished your story about the last crew." He said, "Well, it's not really a big deal, but the other crew that was out there said they saw something down there in the dark water." He said, "I personally think they're crazy. I've been diving for years. The only thing I've ever seen there is fish and more fish. Good riddance, it spooked them off. Some shark or something. Now it's our chance for us to get rich. Stupid bastards." I find myself thinking, I wonder what could have spooked them so badly. I have to find out. I made my way to the captain's quarters, and I asked Captain Henry about the last expedition. His mood turned sour and asked me how I knew about that. He cut me off and just said, "Those lads aren't like you and this crew. It was my fault they weren't ready. Haven't put in their time, and even at a depth of 400 feet, as you well know, sometimes the pressure and the oxygen can make someone hallucinate." The kid Jesse, who freaked out and left his diving partner down there yelling on, rambling about some nonsense bullshit, about something big and constantly changing, it's impossible. And besides his ridiculous story, I found painkillers in his bag. He was probably high, or who knows. Enough of this gibberish. I don't want to bring this up anymore, and I'm not around the crew. Do you hear me? I found this very odd and interesting because Paul never mentioned anything to me about someone being left down there in the depths. When we arrived, everyone was looking excited to finally get in the water and start making some real money. Our plan was very simple. If the legends about the Queen Victoria are true, we all will be extremely wealthy when this is over. When we dive, we'll bring a metal crate attached to a winch down with us. Once we give the signal, the crew on the boat will bring the metal crate back to the surface, which will be full of treasure. As we finally made our descent down into the depths, we used hand signals back and forth to each other, and we made sure to stay within eyesight of everyone, and we constantly checked our gauges. In the distance, directly below us, I started to recognize the top of a mast. Finally starting to see the huge wooden ship that's been mangled and mattered by its impact and the years of being submerged. I was still able to make out the Queen Victoria engraved in the side of the ship, like it's never been touched. Getting closer to the ship, scanning the shipwreck, looking for what would be a good place to enter and hopefully find what we are looking for. Giving the thumbs up to each other, we started continuing our descent. At this depth, it's important to be mindful of everything. Suddenly, Louis gestured to me and put 2 fingers up to his goggles, and then pointed for me to look to his left and down. A large great white shark was circling us, staying just out of our line of sight in the depths. My heart started pounding out of my chest. For a split second, I glanced back over to Louis. In that moment, I realized the shark was slowly moving closer. I could see the size of this thing. 2,000 pounds of pure muscle and teeth, a killing machine that has evolved to be the perfect predator of the sea, edging its way towards us, closer and closer, coming up from the depths. The shark showed why it's the most feared predator of the water, as it burst forth at us, charging right for Butch. In a frantic attempt to keep the large shark at bay, Louis fired his spear gun at the shark, hitting it in its midsection. It seemed to have the effect we hoped for as the shark retreated back to the depths. After what we seemed like a lifetime of being on guard, constantly looking for the shark to reappear from the depths, everyone was starting to feel the thrill of the adventure for sure as our heart rates returned to normal. The search for my early retirement continues. The void of light in the ship makes the darkness have an eerie undertone, darkness that consumes any light, making it impossible to see more than 10 feet in front of you. We came into a larger opening of the ship, or so I thought. Then suddenly, I thought I noticed something swim right by me in the darkness. But I couldn't make anything out other than what I thought was quick movement. Then suddenly I could feel the water move beside me. Something definitely just swam. As I turned my head, I noticed Paul pointing at something in the same area. He kept his eyes focused in that direction, never turning to look at me, just pointing. We both shined our lights over the entire area, looking intently for something. Yet, there was nothing. Nothing out of the ordinary other than wooden beams, a huge wooden closet, and a odd, large candle holder, maybe? I'm not even sure. Something unusual. Nothing could have swam by us. We reached the edge of the corner, not seeing anything in the corner of this room. We turned our lights back in the same direction, passing over the usual wooden beam. There's the closet. Chalking this one up for something weird that happens in the water, we just continued our search. Following the other diver crew, we brought up the rear. We found some silver, just some other trinkets, odds and ends, but nothing of any real value. Butch and Louie took the lead through the darkness of the ship. I thought we'd never find gold or treasure. Checking my gauges read good, still plenty of oxygen. But what the hell did the other crew see down here? Had to have been the shark that scared them away, right? Suddenly, air bubbles and commotion in the water ahead of me. Seemed like Butch was in trouble, but from what? I can't see shit. Paul grabbed his spear gun. Why is he grabbing his gun? He wanted to go fire. He came up jammed. He's pounding on his gun with the palm of his hand. I, in fear, aimed my spear gun forward. Not sure what I'm aiming for or even really looking at. It was then that I saw it. This octopus was around Butch's body. It couldn't be an octopus. It's too big. The size of it. It easily engulfed Butch with his tentacles. Just his tentacles. Not even all of them, it didn't look like. Butch was losing this battle, and that was pretty obvious. Miraculously, one of Butch's arms broke free from the grasp of the creature. He tried pulling off another tentacle with his loose arm. One of this creature's other tentacles wrapped around Butch's free arm, snapped it in half with ease. What the fuck is going on? Lewis began charging towards them, knife in hand. Paul's gun is still jammed. Fearing the worst, I fired my spear gun towards the two that are entangled in a fight to the death. The octopus, watching me, seemingly timed it perfectly and let go. Just as the spear impaled Butch's chest, I could see him scream, then just became limber, laying motionless there in the water. Lewis almost reached out to grab Butch when the octopus outstretched its arms and started to light up in a beautiful, yet scary, stunning display of colors. Then the octopus's body turned entirely black. Then it shot ink near us. It vanished within the ink, as the entire area ahead had a thick black cloud surrounding us. We could no longer see anything. Knowing a creature was mere feet away from us, all grabbed hands and just tried to get the hell out of that area. I so wish I could talk to these guys. Trying to navigate our way through the skeleton of this once magnificent ship is damn near impossible. Checking our oxygen levels, realizing things are getting even more dire as we don't have much air left, only enough for maybe an hour and a half tops. And down here, an hour isn't a lot. We need to haul ass and get out of this ship now. We stopped shortly to try to figure out where we are in the ship, communicating with each other, using hand signals and just trying to figure out which way we should go. I noticed Paul stopped putting his input into the situation as he stared intently behind Louis. Turning around, shining my light to what my amazement, another diver was swimming near us. Who is this? Thank God the captain sent someone down here to help us out. Relief washed over my body as I was immediately happy. I thought he must know the way out. The diver started to change. First he started changing colors, then his body shape started shifting. The color, the texture, everything changed quickly. Before we even had time to realize what was going on, the creature lunged at Paul, grasping his leg with its tentacles. We saw that at the bottom of the creature's head seemed to have a large beak. It snapped back and forth, as it pulled Paul closer and closer to his demise. I rushed forward, hacked at the tentacle wrapped around his leg when suddenly two more grabbed Paul. Now I'm fighting off a tentacle around my waist. I was able to cut this end of the tentacle clear off while the creature was so focused on my diving partner. As soon as I freed myself with my knife, I noticed it was too late for Paul. The octopus had Paul pinned, unable to move his limbs at all, while the octopus used its beak to tear holes into Paul's body with ease. His wetsuit was no protection for him. This whole time I realized that Louis was just staying still, motionless, watching this whole thing go down and not once helping. He turned and we made eye contact. I thought, now is his moment. Grab your fucking spirit gun and fire at this bastard. Instead, Louis turned tail and ran. I looked back at the octopus getting ready to tear another chunk off Paul's flesh. Blood in the water around him touched the octopus, and the octopus's whole body changed to match the color of the water surrounding him. Red. I am in horror and so scared for my life. Damn it! Damn it, I'm getting the hell out of here. I thought, damn you, Louis, turn around and leave him back. You fucking pussy. Following Louis to what I can hope is the exit, all I know for sure is that I'm going in the direction away from this octopus. Finally, I know where it is. We're in the same area where that wooden closet is. There's Louis turning around and almost waiting on me. The exit is near. I'm still pissed at this man, but we're traveling together. Finally, we came out of this wrecked ship. I see the basket where we're supposed to put all of our treasure. I'm giving the signal to pull us up. I gotta get out of here. Something told me to turn around. One tentacle came out of the exit behind us. Oh my God. My heart started pounding and pounding as another tentacle, then the creature's head. Oh shit, it's coming out. I wonder how fast it is. I started passing Louis and the creature's body fully exposed now, revealing the scars in this creature's body and the true size. Who knows how old this thing is? How long it's guarded this place, its home. The battle wounds this thing has, marks from spears and tridents. It exploded toward us. I could never escape the speed of that thing, never. Thinking for my life, and in true fight or flight, innate survival instinct kicked in. I grabbed Louis and pulled off his face mask. He stopped under the water, grabbing his mask, trying to do everything to put it back on. This is the time I needed. This is how I get back to the surface. I made it to the cage that was supposed to be full of treasure, gave the signal, and started moving to the surface. I looked down only once and saw nothing but darkness. Then suddenly I saw it. It's coming fast. Fearing for my life, I felt a hand grab the back of my wetsuit, pulling me up. I screamed, "Get the hell out of here! They're all dead! They're all dead! Oh my God!" That was the last time I ever went scuba diving.